How are we all doing, people? It's Revival of Wisdom from the Wisdom Academy. Today, we're going to be breaking down God, consciousness, and the higher and the lower self, and how to overcome the lower self. Now, the first thing you need to understand is that you are the invisible intelligence within the brain, within the body. This invisible intelligence is known as the mind. But you are not the mind. You are the observer of the mind, which is the soul, the invisible entity. The mind is your intellect, your intelligence. Now, the mind is, it's hard to put this in words, but the mind is something that gives you the ability to explore the universe. And this inner self is the I am. It's the quiet, the inner self, the voice you see in you hear in your head. This is why within spells high twin, inside, internal. The I is also the number one, which is one line. Because the one and only, is the inner self, which is the I am. This is why you say, my name is Harry. You are not Harry, you are the I, the inner self, the intelligence. Okay, this is why Jesus in French is I am. You look with the two eyes and you see with the inner eye. I and I, the same thing. Okay, because the I inside is what gives you the perception of what you're looking at. So when someone's trying to explain something and then you catch on saying, I see now, it's because you're seeing with your inner eye, the one that gives you perception, gives you intelligence, gives you the ability to understand things. This is the internal I, the invisible self, which the physical body is nowhere near as complicated as this inner self. Is in infinite potential. Infinite potential. God, G-O-D, generator, operator, destroyer, soul, mind, and body. Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, the Father, the Holy Spirit, and the Son. They're all, the reason why you see God is always a triad is because it represents yourself. Your invisible intelligence is God. Me and you are the same invisible intelligence. We are the invisible intelligence experiencing the program being run by the central nervous system and the brain. I always say this in my videos, but I have to, in order for you to understand the things that I'm going to say later on in the video, you need to understand this concept, is that you are the consciousness experiencing the nervous system, the tree of knowledge of good and evil, which is you here. You would be in this invisible intelligence right here in the center of the brain. Now, this is why the ancient Christians show God is in the brain. This is the brain stem. This is the brain. This is also the brain stem and the brain. The brain stem and the brain. It's all depictions of the brain because the brain's the computer, the electromagnetic computer, which decodes the demands created by the invisible intelligence, the I, the inner self, you, your true self. The person if you observe what someone moving, this is going to sound, but if you observe someone walking, it's not the body. The body is moving, but the thing telling it to move is the invisible intelligence. Before you kick a football, a decision is made within your invisible intelligence, your mind. And this consciousness, this invisible intelligence, is either stuck between the lower self and the higher self. Okay? When the invisible intelligence, meaning the true self, identifies itself with the physical body, it will trap its mind within physicality. This consciousness that we have is either operating in the lower self or the higher self. It's either feeding the material body or it's feeding the spirit. Okay? But because we are physical and spiritual, we need to be even. We don't want to be meditating all day long, because we do have a physical body as well whilst we are here. We are playing a game in physical matter. Okay? Now, the reason that you incarnated here is to learn a lesson, because the mind can manifest anything it wants within the astral planes, within the world of imagination. It can manifest anything it likes, but it incarnates into matter, into this game, so we can understand labor, because anything in matter, you have to labor to manifest. But in the astral, you can manifest at the click of a finger. You come here to learn the knowledge of good and evil. And your consciousness, I came out a bit off topic there, but your consciousness is experiencing the lower or higher self. The lower self is manifested in the lower parts of the body. Sex, food, and power, the lower three energy centers. These centers are like mini brains. You are literally thinking with these centers. And when your mind is stuck within these lower centers, you'll think, have you ever heard the term of thinking with your penis, or thinking with your, you know what, as a man? Even females maybe, but mainly this is a boy saying, you're thinking with your penis. This is a truth. It's truth in plain sight. You think with these energy centers. When you're living off the lower three centers, all you care about is sex, food, and power. Eating, sleeping, and greed. Power's kind of like greed. Now, when we move up to the higher parts of the body, when we live our life within the higher parts of the body, this is considered heaven. Love, expression, intuition, and wisdom. This is what we need to be aiming to do, moving out of the lower half of the body and living our life within the higher self, the higher parts of the body, thinking with the higher energy centers, thinking with love, expression, intuition, and wisdom, spreading love, expression, intuition, and wisdom to others. Heaven is even. This is why Jesus is pointing at the heart chakra, always pointing at the heart. Earth rearranged his heart, because in earth you're manifested as a physical being. You're in the heart, good and bad. You need to be balanced between the good and bad. Because love can be a demon too. That's a whole nother video, but love can be a demon. Now, the seven chakras are known as the seven seals in the Bible. When the Lamb opened the seventh seal, there was silence in the heaven for about half an hour. This is a verse from the Bible. The Lamb is Aries, which is the higher brain, the cerebrum, Ram, Aries. Because when the Ram opens the seven seals, you enter the kingdom of heaven. Because these chakras seal your invisible intelligence. They seal your true self. You are behind these seven seals, your true invisible self, your true consciousness. Because behind these seven seals, you do not think about anything materialistic. Your intelligence is not material. It's not physical. It's not from the physical world. It does not desire the physical world. The body is the beast. The body's the animal, the lower self, which can corrupt our intelligence. It can corrupt the intelligence. Okay? Now, we need to balance these chakras so that we gain a deeper connection between this intelligence and the brain. Because when there's a strong connection between the brain and the intelligence, your body and the intelligence, you have a strong connection. Therefore, you can manifest what the intelligence is saying at all times. Meaning, when, for example, your higher self, this is intelligence, the higher intelligence is always speaking to you. It's always guiding you. It's always telling you the right thing to do. You can feel it when you're doing something wrong. You can feel that you're doing something wrong, because this higher self, This intelligence knows what it needs to do here. And when there's no connection between the body and this our intelligence, our true self, when we strip away, when you close your eyes for long periods of time, you will figure out you are this invisible, infinite, creative being. There's no words that I can't describe what it is. But it's the voice inside of your head that you can feel when you close your eyes. You are this being inside of the head, heaven, because this is heaven, this intelligence. And when there's a strong connection between the body, you can manifest everything it's saying. When everything is balanced, when you're no longer thinking with the lower centers, when they're all balanced, you're not thinking in particular with every center, you balance them all, you can manifest everything it says. Your body will act out what the intelligence is always saying. This is God in the brain, the intelligence, trying to touch Adam, representing the lower self. This is why they're not touching. Notice how Adam is resting, but the intelligence is always reaching out, stretching, symbolizing metaphorically saying it's guiding. I'm always reaching out. The intelligence, your intelligence is always guiding you. It's always reaching out to you. But Adam is ignorant of it. The lower self is ignorant of it. And that's why he's so relaxed and God is so stretching out. Because at our highest self, that when you think of when you want to better your life, that highest true version of yourself is God. When you're manifesting this, your highest self, this is God. Your truest form, your most perfect form, that is God. Your highest version of yourself, that is God. Emotions are not what you've been taught. Emotions are not something that should be reactive, okay? You should not let the emotion be you, except that you should experience them instead of letting them become you. You need to understand there's a separation in our consciousness. You have the soul, which is the person who is observing your thoughts. When you think a thought, who's the one observing that thought? The soul, you, the I am, the I, the inner self, the one and only. And inside of every single body, inside of me, inside of you watching this video, there is this same intelligence that is inside of me, inside of you. And it's the exact same intelligence, experiencing a different body. And this is what we mean by the universe is mental. We are all sharing the same ball of consciousness in a different body. The animals, the fish, the cells, all expressing this one consciousness. Me and you are the same. This is why the golden rule is treat others like others should be treated, because I am you and you are me in a different body. Now, going back, you need to identify that there's different levels of consciousness: soul, mind, emotion, and body. Okay? Your emotions are on a separate layer than the body, the mind, and the soul. So when you identify there's a difference between all of these, you do not let them become you. You do not let your mind rule you, because your mind can be corrupted. Your soul is the one that is pure good, pure love, but your mind can be corrupted. Okay? Your emotions can be corrupted. The body can be corrupted, but the soul can never be corrupted, only layered on top. You can only throw piles of programs within the subconscious, layering the soul down, but deep down inside of every single one of you, there is a loving being. Because love comes from the heart. Love is the universal emotion, expression. Now, your thoughts can become bondage, your emotions can become bondage. Now, what do I mean by bondage? By conquering the lower self, we need to conquer our own mind, because the mind is what's manifesting the lower self. When you're thinking with the lower half of the body, when you're becoming your emotions, you need to experience the emotion, not become the emotion. Do not let the emotion become you. Do not let your thoughts become you, because your thoughts are tools that you can manifest. Your thoughts are the idea. Your emotion is the energy that you can use to manifest that thought. Your emotion is energy in motion, emotion. You use emotion to manifest, to feel as if you already have the thought. Therefore, you become that vibration. Therefore, your emotions are actually a creational force that is given to you to manifest things, because you're a human, a manifester. You're here to manifest things. You're a creator. You are a god. Your inner self, your intelligence, your I am, the one and only inside of you, the inner self, the quiet one, the one that's deep, deep down, the invisible intelligence, is it's creating things all the time. All the time. Speak no evil, see no evil, hear no evil. This is the astronauts, they're Freemasons, but they understand this, because thinking, seeing, and hearing can corrupt your mind. And when you have a corrupted mind, you'll have a corrupted subconscious. The subconscious will manifest into the body, because 90% of your behavior comes from the subconscious mind. So you got to speak, see, and hear no evil. But sin, what is a sin? To overcome our lower self, to overcome our lower self, the 7 deadly sins are not something that goes against an external God. A sin is something that goes against your inner guide, your inner conscience, the inner self that's always speaking to you. It's always telling you the right thing to do. A sin is something that goes against this inner guide. And this is why you can feel something where you can feel you're doing something wrong, because the inner guide is speaking constantly. And when you commit these 7 deadly sins, which are 7 internal states which keep your invisible intelligence bound to your physical body. Because evil, right? Evil love bondage. This is why they stay in this realm and they control this realm, because they love the bondage of the body. They like matter. They want to stay in matter for eternal life. They don't want to ascend back into the heavenly realms where you do not have a physical body. You can explore the universe within the astral planes. They stay bounded to the body, bounded to the 3D construct of the physical world. They have greed, lust, envy, gluttony, wrath, sloth, pride. They want all of this. And if you want that, that's okay. But deep, deep down, you don't want that, because your soul is always telling you the right thing to do. Your soul knows what to do to get out of here. It needs to detach from the external world. Detach from all of these 7 internal states which bound you to your lower self, your lower centers. That's what a sin is. You have a left and right brain. The left brain is always analytic. The right brain is metaphorical. So the right brain is producing a holistic view of reality. Now, what do I mean? And not view, perception. When you see, because your eyes are parts of the brain, when you look at something and you look, that image is produced in the back of the brain in the visual cortex. And then the right brain produces a perception, a holistic it breaks down what you're seeing into a holistic image, a holistic perception. So, for example, if you're in a woods, the right brain sees the whole woods as one big woods. The left brain is breaking that perception down into individual trees, branches, and leaves. So the left brain's to do with duality, the right brain's to do with wholeness, unified. The left brain's dualistic, analytic. This is necessary so that we can pick things up and manipulate them and break things down. We need the left brain. We need the right brain. I'm not saying any of them's bad, but the left brain, sinister in Latin, means left. Because when you're left-brained, you see everything in dualistic. You see everything is dual, when everything's actually one. We need to be focusing and strengthening our right hemisphere. I'm not saying sit in the right hemisphere all the time, but we need to be strengthening our right hemisphere. And this is why left is sin and right is right. Because when you focus on the right hemisphere, you see the holistic perception of creation. The right hemisphere sees humanity as one unified consciousness. The left hemisphere sees everyone as individual persons and egos. Because the left hemisphere is dualistic. And this is why the Bible says, cast the net onto the right side of the ship and ye shall find. John 21:6. What does that mean? Cast your energy, cast your perception into the right hemisphere of the brain, and ye shall find unified consciousness. You shall find your higher self, the one and only. If then you have been raised with Christ, seek the things that are above, where Christ is seated at the right hand of God. Wow. Powerful. What does this mean? Seek the things that are above, where the Christ is seated at the right hand of God. God is your consciousness, your invisible intelligence between the two hemispheres. The right hand of God is the right hemisphere. Seek the things that are above the heart. Love, intuition, expression, and wisdom. Seek the things that are above the heart, the higher self, the higher part of the body. Because when you seek the things of love, expression, intuition, and wisdom, you create a strong aura. You attract the same frequency. And this frequency is heaven, God. This is the Sumerian artwork showing the Lamb. This is a step symbolizing stepping upwards, raising up. He's stepping over the Lamb up to the bird. His hand is going to the bird. The Lamb symbolizes the lower self. Okay? The bird with the wings is in the sky. It represents the higher self. This is why angels always have wings, because it represents the higher self in the sky. The lamb is a ground animal, symbolizing the lower self. He's stepping over the lamb to the bird, his higher self, his invisible intelligence. Horus and Set, Jesus and Satan. Look, Horus has an evil brother, Set, just like Jesus and Satan. Horus is a bird, higher self. Set is a ground animal, lower self, which is the devil and the angel on your shoulder. You see? The right and the left hemisphere. The two wings. So, the devil and angels always speaking to you. The higher and the lower self. It's the battle between the higher and the lower self. Between the invisible intelligence and the physical body, because the body's the one that wants the sugar, it wants the pleasure, it wants the sex, it wants the porn, it wants all of the materialistic things, it wants the 7 deadly things. Okay, it wants this. There's a battle between the higher and the lower self, your intelligence and the body. This is why you need to become balanced, so that there's a deep connection between the body and the invisible intelligence that I am. You need to master your mind with discipline, and you gain a connection between the brain, the body, and the intelligence. Resurrection, transmuting sexual energy. Okay, this is important. Res is resh, which is Hebrew. The early Hebrew resh symbol is the head. This is the head. Resh, erection. Erection is a sexual stimulation. Resurrection is rise erection. You got to raise your sexual energy up the base from the spine to the head. This is the Christ, the Christos. There's a psychophysical germ, psychophysical oil produced in the brain every month. Go and watch my other video on raising the chrism. Okay? And every month there's this fluid produced in the brain, which takes 2 trips, because one's produced by the pituitary, one's produced by the pineal, magnetic female, magnetic and electric charge. And it takes 2 trips down the spine to the solar plexus, the bread of life in the Bible, or Bethlehem in the Bible, because the River Jordan's your spine. It goes down to Bethlehem. It gets born in Bethlehem, just like Jesus. Because when this oil travels to the solar plexus, it creates the seed, the seed of life, and it feeds the body. All the central nervous system, all the cells, it regulates the blood, does all sorts of good things for the body, this oil. Now, when you save your sexual energy and you raise your resurrection, you awake the Christ, you raise it from the solar plexus or the sacrum bone up to the brain, you activate 100% of the brain, and this is the true resurrection of Christ. Instead of wasting the energy and giving away your sexual fluids, because behind the fluids is the energy. So when you release that fluid, the energy is out there. You've released the energy. Your sexual energy is the most potent emotional force a human could possibly feel. Same with any animal or anything. The sexual urge, the sexual emotion is the most powerful, potent emotion that you can feel. It takes over the whole body. When you feel sexually aroused, it takes over everything because it's so potent. And when you fight the serpent, when you fight the sexual energy, which is shown here in the Egyptians, the cat cutting off the head of the serpent, or Hercules fighting the serpent, or in the Greek mythology fighting the 7-headed dragon, the 7 chakras. The serpent is your sexual energy because it symbolizes your kundalini. When you fight it and you transmute this energy, instead of releasing it, instead of acting sexually on it, you can transmute the energy, transfer it from the solar plexus up to the brain. You can also do this with other tasks. Instead of releasing it, instead of raising it from the solar plexus to the brain, you can use it for other things. So, for example, you want to think critically. You can use it for critical thinking. You can use it for going to do exercise. You can transmute sexual energy into anything. But you can do this. You can raise the sexual energy, and you can use this energy to push the cerebrospinal fluid from the solar plexus up through the spine, up the 33 vertebrae to the brain, and it'll activate 100% of the brain. And this is the resurrection of Christ. Jesus was never dead. Jesus was never rose from the dead. It symbolizes the Christ, Jesus Christ. Christ is Christos, which means oil in Greek. The resurrection of the Christ, the Christos, the oil. When it activates 100% of the brain when it's raised, and it can regulate all the systems, it can regulate all the blood, it can regenerate the body. And this is the true Antichrist. They don't want us doing this process. The Antichrist is not against Jesus, it's against the fluid in our body that makes us live hundreds and hundreds of years. and makes us live as gods. This is the true resurrection. And when you fight the serpent, you fight your sexual urges, your sexual emotion, the most strong emotion that you could ever feel. You can do this process. And this is the true secret of transmuting sexual energy. Because when you transmute the sexual energy, you can become a god. And this is why Hercules is fighting the serpent. Notice how the serpent is low. He's reaching down to it. It represents the lower self. Because the lower self wants the lust. It desires sex. The body desires sex. There's a fight between the higher and the lower self. But when there's balance, there's even. Heaven is even. When there's evenness between these, this is the kingdom of heaven. This is when heaven is on earth. So at our highest levels of ourselves, the highest level of our intelligence, this is God. God is something that we manifest. We need to achieve Christ consciousness by battling the body. There is no battle outside of the physical body. It's an internal battle. Jesus and Satan have been externalized. Nothing exists outside of you, because I explained in the beginning how you are the consciousness experiencing the central nervous system. Therefore, there is nothing outside of you. It's all internal. Jesus and Satan have been externalized. Why? Because it's business. The church is a business. It's all a business. They've created these figures to be historical when they're not historical. The Bible's not historical. It's all externalized. It's called exoteric, when the truth is esoteric, internal teachings. So anyways, people, balance the chakras, balance the two hemispheres of the brain, balance the conscious and the subconscious. Balance is perfect, the yin and yang. You are spiritual and physical. You live in day and night. You need to be balanced. Oneness. Seek oneness. And this is the true kingdom of heaven. And when we all realize that we are all the same intelligence, the same consciousness expressed in different bodies, when we all realize this, we all realize we're all one. Doesn't matter what race you are. It doesn't matter what race you are, where you're from, your nationality, because none of you are actually from here. None of you are from the physical world. You're manipulating the physical world through the physical body. You are the I am. We all have a soul. Every single one of you has a soul. We all have souls. The reason why they say some people don't have souls is because they're trying to suppress your mind. They don't want you to know that you have a mind. That sounds crazy, I know. But a lot of people haven't realized that they have an infinite intelligence called a mind. And behind that mind, if you can observe your thoughts, the person who is observing the thoughts, you have a soul. Everyone has a soul. Don't listen to all these people saying some people don't have a soul, some people do. We all have a soul. Every single one of us. So anyway, you need to break the lower nature of yourself. At our highest levels, we are gods. Our intelligence, our universal intelligence, the I am, the intelligence that's inside of the brain, is God. Our minds are being corrupted within believing that you are the body, and the result of this is a society like today, because everyone thinks they're the body, and everyone's living in the lower nature of self, where everyone only cares about themselves. But when we realize we're all one big consciousness ball, we're all the same consciousness expressed in different bodies, there will be peace. So thank you all, people. If you do want to learn more, if you do want to read my book, it's called The Book of Wisdom. I'll put it in the description. It's an amazing book, people. It's going to give you the best understanding possible about creation, yourself, and the world. It's amazing. The Bible, everything. I have just launched a new cymatic library. A friend of mine has just added this to the website. He creates beats and he creates the purest beats. So they are actually the frequency that it tells you. Most of the stuff on YouTube and Spotify and Apple Music is all, it says it's a certain frequency, but we know these major platforms are all playing with the frequencies of the app. So if you want a real binaural beats, solfeggio scale frequencies to meditate on or listen to throughout the day, join the Occult Library. You can get a 2-day free trial. I'll put the link in the description. Thank you all, people. Hope you all enjoyed this video. God bless you all. What is good, people? We're back with another video, and this is going to be talking about the connection between the micro and the macro. You know, you are the universe, everything is inside of you. So the first thing you need to understand is that the law of mentalism, we are a thought in the creator's mind, everything's being thought into existence. We have a spark of this mind, this same mind of the creator, and everything is a state of mind. Particles or atoms, whatever you want to call them, are a mental thing. They're a product of the mind. Everything's thought into existence. Thoughts influence everything. Thoughts are energetic effects which send out waves into the quantum field around you. And your consciousness is actually the universe experiencing itself, expressing itself, and viewing itself. So we are the creator, but viewing itself in separate bodies. And this is why we call the material world the world of illusions. Because everything's separate here, but we all forget that we're not all one. We've all been brainwashed to think we're all separate, but we're all one. We're all the same mind, the same consciousness, everything. So everything's created out of toroidal fields. God created the toroidal field. That's the only thing that exists because the atoms are toroidal fields. And it's the basis behind all creation. As you can see it in the owl's eyes. It creates the infinity symbol. And this was the apple. That apple is a toroidal field. And the toroidal field is made out of dielectricity, which is ether. Ether is black light, and this is counter space. This is another realm. This is what creates God to be omnipresent, to be everywhere at one place at all times. He is everywhere because ether is everywhere. Ether is infinite potential. It connects everything together, and that's what energy moves through. It moves through the ether. And that's black light. Everything is light, as it says in John 4:2. God is light. Everything's a vibrational state of light. So the torus field is made out of dielectricity, ether, black light, magnetism, which is white light, which is the center of the toroidal field. And magnetism radiates, it has no vibration. And then when white light splits, it turns into electricity, which is physical material, and that has a vibration. This is the Holy Trinity. The sun, the moon, Saturn. Saturn, the god of materialism. If you've watched my videos on Saturn, you know that Saturn is crystallizing everything into physical matter. And that's why his old name was El. The ancients called him El. And this is why we get El electricity. This is where El electricity comes from. Because El electricity is only a product of the physical world, which is redshift, blueshift, Adam and Eve. And this is what creates the redshift, blueshift is what is a product of magnetism. When magnetism, white light splits, and this gives us vibration. And this what creates the toroidal field, which is the basis of all physical creation. The sine wave is created out of the magnetic wave and the electric wave. The electric wave is the blue wave, and the magnetic wave is the straight wave, which is radiation. This is vibration frequency. So the magnetic wave is straight, and then you have longitude and amplitude, which is depth, which is dimension. You see how the electric wave has depth and dimension. This is why you get the cross. This is the cross of Earth. This is the symbol of Earth, of bondage, of physical matter, because it consists of magnetic wave
and depth, which is electric wave. I mean, this is where you get the sun cross or the earth cross, whatever you want to call it. It's the cross of physical matter, and the ancients knew this. This is why they used that symbol. Red shift, blue shift, which is the toroidal field, is the basis of all creation, physical creation. And this is why you have the police siren is red and blue. The Matrix movie, red pill, blue pill. You have red blood and blue blood in your body. The Democrat and Republic, the two parties, red and blue. Like your taps on your taps, you have a red and blue tap. One's generative, one's destruction. Fire, destruction, water, generative. So this is the basis of all things. And electric wave has dimension, like I've already said, depth, material, and it's measured in hertz. It's measured in hertz because it hurts you. It decays because the electric wave has a vibration, and vibration always has to go back to a standstill point. This wave cannot go forever, but the magnetic wave will go forever. It's radiation. Magnetic is radiation. It radiates forever. It pulses. But the electric wave will at some point come back to a standstill point, and that's why it hurts. It decays. That's why our physical body decays, because we contain of electricity. This body is an electric body, and it will return back to stillness like a guitar string. If you vibrate a guitar string, you pull it, it will vibrate, make a sound, and then go back to a standstill point. It's the exact same with every single toroidal field within the body. It will decay, and this is why our bodies decay, and everything in creation decays. So we're born into sin. The sin of Eve. The sin of Eve is us biting into the tree of knowledge of good and evil, which is the systems in the body. And the sin of Eve is biting into the sine wave. We bit into the sine wave. The sun moves in a sine wave. Our DNA is a sine wave. Time is a sine wave. Everything in this creation is a sine wave. This is why the dollar bill is a sine wave. Magnetism and electric waves in one. And this is the sun doing its sine wave, which creates, when you go bowling, it kind of creates that pin that you hit over. That's the pin of the sun. The zodiac sign is a sine wave because the zodiac sign is an expression of the toroidal field, because magnetism unfolds into 12ness. And that's why you have 12 zodiac signs, 12 systems in your body, 12 cranial nerves in your head, in your brain. So if you can imagine this, see where my pointer is. Always starts with Aries. Aries is the head. It's the first thing that's created in the womb. And this is Aries, the ram. And this is why it's called a cerebrum in your brain, which is the first thing that creates when you're in the womb. And what's the element of Aries is fire. Fire is the first element. F-I-R, first, because it's the first thing on the wheel, the first expression of energy. As you can see here, my pointer, this is the center of the toroidal field. It would go Aries, Virgo, Capricorn, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. Then we go back to Libra. Libra would be center. But you see how the toroidal field is the expression of the 12 energies. That's what the constellations are, the energy expressions of the toroidal field. So it would go outwards, starting from Aries here, all the way back to Pisces, which is beyond the bottom half. But Libra would be the center. That's why Libra is the equinox. It's the equinox. Libra is when it goes from summer over to autumn. It's the equal. It starts to transition into the winter side. Equinox, equal, which is Libra. And that's why Libra has the two scales. It's symbolized with the two scales. That's because of the sun moving over. It's being judged. It's equal now, but then it's going to tip over into the winter. That's why Libra is here, the center of the sine wave. And like I said before, magnetic energy unfolds into 12ness. Magnesium is number 12 on the periodic table. It's the sacred number. And this is why the scientists are NASA is trying to bring in another constellation to destroy the holy science of astrology. So Aries rules the head, which is Mars. Taurus rules the neck, the lower head. Gemini, the two twins, which is your lungs, your two twins, your arms, two twins. Cancer, the breasts, or the chest area. Leo, the heart, which is the sun, which is fire, the center of the toroidal field. Virgo, the belly, which is the intestines. Libra, the kidneys, the two scales, the kidneys, balancing out everything. Scorpio, the sex organs. Sagittarius, hips and thighs. Capricorn, I've missed that out, which is the kneecaps. Capricorn, kneecap. Aries, which is the ram, which is the cerebrum in your brain. And then Aquarius, the calves and the ankles. And the Pisces, the two fish, the 2 feet. So everything corresponds, as you can see here. This is an ancient way of depicting it, of the folded human. And this is everything. Each constellation rules that part of the body, gives energy to that part of the body, makes you do certain things. So magnetic energy unfolds into 12ness, electricity unfolds into 7s. That's why when you get electric, the light spectrum that we see, it consists of 7 colors. Why we have 7 planets. The 7 planets give us our 7 metals and the 7 solfeggio scale frequencies. So the rotor, this is the rotor, and rotor is an anagram for Torah. The Torah, which is I think it's the Hebrew Bible. Don't quote me on that, but it's one of the holy books. Which is the Torah, the Taurus. Everything goes back to the Taurus field because it's the basis of all creation. So the chief cornerstone, it says in the Bible that the builders rejected the chief cornerstone. The chief cornerstone, you are the builder. You decided to incarnate into the physical world, into the electric world, the world of Saturn. When you are created in the womb, it takes you 9 months for you to be created. So for example, if your parents, if you went into the womb here, it'd take you 9 months. So let's say you're born in Scorpio. So you'd go back 9 months. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You consist of all of these 9 energies because it takes 9 months or however long you took to be born. Some people are born earlier. You'd have to find out how many months you were in the womb for. But you consist of these 9 energies, and each constellation has a cell salt associated with it. And these cell salts are vital for your health, and your cells and the optimal health of your body. So the chief cornerstone that you rejected is these 3 cell salts, these 3 constellations. So you're mineral deficient in these 3 constellations. For example, fluoride, magnesium, phosphate, and potassium sulfate. So that's the chief cornerstone. And a cornerstone, people always get it rejected with the cornerstone. The cornerstone is not, it doesn't say the cornerstone in the Bible, it says the chief cornerstone. The cornerstone is a cornerstone of a building, but a chief cornerstone is the top of the pyramid. This is where we get the pyramid of the wheel. So you're mineral deficient in whatever 3 zodiac signs you're not. You were not in the womb for. This is the chief cornerstone you rejected. So the human body is the micro. It is the universe in a physical form. It consists of everything in the universe. Just like your consciousness is the universe, watching itself, experiencing itself. Your body is the whole universe. 12 systems in the body, 12 zodiac signs, 7 chakras are the 7 planets. The Holy Trinity of you is your Temple of Solomon, the soul and the mind, the sun and the moon. You know, everything is in you. You consist of everything, all the energies, everything. Heaven and hell. Heaven and hell is a mind state. It's a state of the mind. Head, H-E-A, which is heaven, and the heel, the bottom of your foot, is hell. And the bottom of your foot is the soul. So they're basically saying, well, it's wordplay. They're saying that your soul is in hell because, you know, with the elites being in control. So they call the bottom of your foot the soul, trying to say that you're in hell. The Christ is in you. And this Christ is Greek for what? Christos. And Christos is Greek for the oil. And this oil is produced in the cerebrum, the Aries, the ram, the cerebrum. It goes down the pineal. Well, the pineal and the pituitary are underneath the cerebrum. Goes down the pingala and the ida. The pingala being the positive charge connected to the pineal gland, pin, and the ida connected to the pituitary. And this is the 2 serpents going down the spinal column. And this is why Jesus goes from Nazareth to Bethlehem, and then Joseph and Mary are waiting for Jesus in Nazareth. Joseph and Mary are the pineal and the pituitary gland waiting for Jesus to come back up the River Jordan, or spinal column. So this is the oil. This is the story of Santa as well. Santa comes from the North Pole. Why? Because the North Pole of the Earth is the center of the toroidal field. And the North Pole of you is your spinal column, which is the North Pole of the toroidal field. the North Pole. He comes from the North Pole. This is the North Pole. This is the South Pole of the toroidal field. Comes from the North Pole, which is your mind. And he goes down the chimney and then back up the chimney. This is the chimney. And he drops off the present, which is the Christos, the oil. And this is why Jesus is crucified at 33, because he crosses over the vagus nerve at the top of your spine. When this oil comes back up the 33 vertebrae, these are vertebrae here. When it goes up to the 33 vertebrae, it gets crucified at 33 because it crosses the vagus nerve, and he's crucified on a cross at 33. This is the story behind Jesus and Santa. The Ark of the Covenant in the Bible is the two hemispheres which cover the vital parts of your mind, the brain side, which is the cerebrum, the pineal, the pituitary, etc. So the two hemispheres are the two angels, the Ark of the Covenant. This is the Ark of the Covenant covering the two vital parts of your brain. So these are the optic thalamus is another part, and it protects the Christ oil, which is inside at the center of the brain. See, the Bible is all a massive metaphor about yourself, because you are the universe. You are a microcosm of the universe. Your consciousness is experiencing itself, and the universe experiencing, and your body is the whole universe. Your head's heaven. So Moses crosses the Red Sea. These are the two hemispheres of your brain. This is the corpus callosum, the Red Sea. So he's pretty much saying that he's uniting the two hemispheres of your brain, because most people in this generation are stuck in the left brain, which is just logic, reasoning, science and maths, writing. You know, this is what school teaches you to do. It keeps you stuck in your left brain. And you want to cross over to you want to cross the Red Sea, which is the corpus callosum, to the right brain, which is awareness, art awareness, creativity, imagination, intuition, insight, you know, using the higher mind, creativity, imagination. If you don't have intuition, then you can't read energy, you can't pick up on bad things. This is what Moses is symbolizing by crossing the Red Sea. And it's also the upper room where Jesus met the 12 disciples. 12 disciples are the 12 cranial nerves in your brain. It doesn't just represent the 12 zodiac signs, the 12 disciples. It symbolizes many different things. It's like I said, energy the universe consists of 12ness. So you have 12 cranial nerves in your brain. And that's the 12 disciples as well. And they want you stuck in your left brain, which is the five senses, materialism. So they say in the Bible that Satan blinds the mind. Satan is Saturn. If you've watched my videos, Satan is Saturn. And you consist of the whole Trinity, which is the sun, moon, and earth. The soul, the moon, the soul being the sun, the solar, the moon being your mind, the earth, your physical body. And Satan blinds the mind. Why? Because we enter a soul system. This is a soul system, not a solar system. And Saturn is the Lord of the Rings, which is the outer ring. When your soul enters the soul system, your soul starts to materialize. It hits Saturn. Why? Because Saturn starts to materialize you. You take on the 7 virtues, which are the 7 planets, which are your 7 chakras. And to get out of this soul system, you must get out of your lower nature, your animal nature, which is lust, desire, greed. You know, the number of the beast, 666, which is Saturn, Satan. So you enter the soul system, you take on the 7 energies, which you turn into physical matter. And this is your descension from heaven to, well, to say hell. And then you must raise back up from matter to spirit. They say Satan blinds the mind. Why? Because your mind gets materialized. Your soul and mind get materialized. And when you get materialized, it's an intense experience. You lose the divinity within you. You forget the divinity. So Satan, which is the first planet, the first energy you take on, the material body, he blinds the mind. He makes you forget everything, your divinity. Then you must remember, ascend up Jacob's ladder, the 33 vertebrae, to heaven. And this is a microcosm of the macro, because you will ascend back up to heaven if you do this, when you leave your physical body, when your body decays. So when it talks about in the Bible, completely destroy them, the Hittites, the Amorites, the Canaanites, all the ites, this is what God says to the Israelites. It says completely destroy them. It's basically symbolizing saying destroy your lower nature. The Canaanites, cannibals. We're under a Canaanite system now, which is cannibalism. And this is flesh eating, lust, greed, all the demonic stuff, all the lower vibrational stuff, the lower nature, eating, sex, and survival, the lower three chakras. You must get out of these lower three chakras and return back to spirit, which is heaven, which is spirit, love, being holy, being truthful, being passionate, going back to Satan blinding the mind. All of the planets are made out of these three symbols. Satan blinds the mind. And that's why Satan's symbol, this is the symbol for Saturn, Satan, the symbol of Saturn is the cross, which is physical matter, the earth, over the moon. The moon is your mind. So the Saturn symbol saying matter over mind. He blinds the mind. Satan blinds the mind once you enter the soul system. And you must remember, in the Bible, it talks about the Genesis, which is Eve, the sin of Eve, which is biting of the tree of knowledge. The serpent, which wraps around the tree. It says the serpent placed himself on the tree. Well, the serpent is the spinal column. It's the serpent telling you eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, which is your nervous system. And eating from the tree of knowledge of good and evil is doing bad things. For example, over-sexualized, overeating, eating the wrong food. That's eating from your nervous system. It's decaying you, and it's preventing you from achieving the God self, the God consciousness. This is the symbolism of, the tree on the serpent, telling you to eat from the left brain, with the left brain being the sinister. Sinister is Latin for left. That's sin. Sin is left. And left is lefty Lucy, Lucifer, right, righteousness, right, God, godly. The tree of knowledge of good and evil, which is your nervous system, because it determines good or bad. That's the only thing you experience in this world is your nervous system. And then the tree of life is the cardiovascular system, and the Garden of Eden is your body. So that's it for this video, people. I hope you've got a greater understanding of how you are the universe and everything is inside of you. Just keep in mind you are the universe experience in itself, and your body is a reflection of everything. The 12 constellations, the 7 planets, everything's inside of you. This world is an expression from the inside outwards. You can't affect the outside world to manipulate reality. Everything's inside of you. I hope you got a greater understanding of this. God bless. What is good, people? It's Revival of Wisdom. I hope you're all doing well. And this video is how to raise your holy oil or your kundalini. Let's get straight into this. So this is a monthly cycle. Every month, when the moon is in your zodiac sign, this oil is released. Now, the moon is in control of monthly cycles. For women, it's the menstrual cycle, and as well, this holy oil cycle. The moon changes sign every 2.5 days and passes through the zodiac signs in 27 days. So the moon tells the day, the sun tells the time, the stars tell the month. This reality is a massive clock, if you like to say. It's a cycle. Okay. The moon controls the night, emotions, water, fluids, and the mind. Okay. So this oil is produced in the claustrum. It's produced in the claustrum, which is here, right? This is where you get Santa Claus from. Now, the claustrum is at the center of the brain, and it is next to the pineal gland and the pituitary gland. Once it starts in the claustrum,
This is the holy present. This is the present that Santa gives to us, Santa Claus. And it goes to the pituitary gland and the pineal gland. And what's connected to the pituitary gland and the pineal gland is the Ida and the Pingala. The Pingala is the pineal gland's nerve, which is the honey, which is the positive charge, electric. And the pituitary is the Ida nerve, which is the magnetic charge. This is the milk, the land flowing with milk and honey. This is the brain, the heaven, heaven, okay? And it travels down the spine using these two nerves, these electromagnetic charge. And this is what the ancients symbolized with the two serpents wrapped around the spinal cord, the Ida and the Pingala. And this travels down to the sacrum or the solar plexus. Okay. So once it's here, okay, the spine is an elongation of the brain. So the spine is pretty much the brain. It's an extension of it. And it's kind of a microcosm of how we descended from heaven to physical reality, to physical matter, which is our consciousness has done. Our consciousness has descended from heaven into physical matter. And this is a microcosm of it. Okay. So once we're in the sacrum bone, this holy oil, like I've just explained, this holy oil starts in the Santa claustrum, goes down the chimney to the sacrum. This is the sacrum, the solar plexus, and drops the present off at the sacrum. Now, once we're at the sacrum, we need to raise our vibration to take this oil back up the spine. Okay. And the River Jordan symbolizes this in the Bible. King Herod wants to kill Jesus in Nazareth, which is here, this is the River Jordan, is Nazareth. He goes to be born in Bethlehem and then goes back up to Nazareth to Joseph and Mary. Joseph and Mary, the pineal gland and the pituitary gland. The Bible is huge symbolism. It's all metaphors for this sacred process which goes on inside of your body. You are the Temple of Solomon. You are the Holy Land. The Holy Land is your brain. Once this oil is at the sacrum, you need to raise your vibration in order to take it back up. Once this oil has gone back up to the pineal gland, it activates the crystals which are wrapped around your pineal gland. Your pineal gland is this tiny little beam here. This is the claustrum. This is the pineal gland. And it's wrapped in crystals. And when this oil travels back up the spine by raising your vibration, back to the upper room where Jesus met the 12 disciples, or the 12 cranial nerves in the brain, and it activates and it turns on this pineal gland. And once it's turned on, it illuminates all the cells and the nerves in your brain and turns them all on and activates the higher God man, the God consciousness, Christ consciousness. And it regenerates the whole body. This is the secret to regeneration. It regenerates all the cells in the body. And this is how the ancients lived for thousands and thousands of years, as talked about in ancient texts. They lived for hundreds and thousands of years because they knew this secret. And this fluid, this brain fluid, the secretion, or the Christos in Greek, which means gold, because this is the alchemical process from turning lead to gold. Your body is the alchemical furnace. Now, the ancients knew about this center of the brain because they symboled it. This is the Eye of Ra, and it's the brain. And this is what's wrapped around our consciousness. Our consciousness isn't wrapped around the brain. The brain is built around the consciousness. We are the consciousness. You don't have a soul, you are the soul. Okay? Now, the head, heaven, hell, heel at the bottom of your foot, that's hell.
Head is heaven, heaven and hell. Simple. Now the pineal gland produces DMT, which is dimethyltryptamine, which is known as the spirit molecule. So let's move on. Now, when this oil travels up, back, the spine, the chimney, it crucifies at the top, which is called the vagus nerve. So when it reaches here, the optic thalamus, it crosses and crucifies once it's raised back up. And this is why Jesus dies at 33. He was crucified at 33. Because you have 33 vertebrae on the back of your spine. And then it's crucified by the cross of the vagus nerve. When this oil crosses the vagus nerve, this is the crucifixion at 33. And it symbolizes the death of the physical consciousness. You then become spirit. You then become God consciousness, activating the Kundalini, regenerating the body and the mind. Okay. The Garden of Eden. You are the Garden of Eden. The land of milk and honey is upstairs. The pituitary, which is the milk, the pineal gland, which is the honey, which is DMT. It even says this in the Bible. As he brought us into the place, and he has given us this land, a land flowing with milk and honey, which is also symbolized as the sun and the moon. The Bible also says, the light of the body is the eye, not the eyes, the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. This is the activation of the pineal gland by raising this oil back up to the pineal gland, to the center of the brain. Neither shall they say, see that here, or see there, for behold, the kingdom of God is within you. So he's saying, don't look out there. Nothing is out there. It's all inside of you. Everything's inside of you. You're the universe. Now, how to raise this oil back up to the pineal gland? Every month, like I said. The moon controls the cycle. The moon controls monthly cycles. When the moon is going into your zodiac sign every month, this oil goes down the spine, and you must raise your frequency to get it back up. You must retain your seed. This is the most important. Your fluid, your secret, your holy fluid, your life force. You can't let that go. That life force is the reason you're alive. This holy oil is the reason you're alive, because it feeds all of the systems in your body. It feeds all the systems in the body. You have to retain your seed. Alkaline diet, positive thinking, and meditation. Okay? When you retain your seed, you will live longer. The moment you release it, you're killing yourself. You're killing a piece of yourself every time you release your seed. Every single time. You're killing a part of yourself. Okay? Now, this could be why this could be the illumination, the single eye on the Illuminati's symbol, the Freemasonic symbol, the illuminated eye, the triangle, which could symbolize the body, mind, and spirit, but the eye illuminated. Now, in the Bible, it talks about the two trees, the tree of knowledge and the tree of life. The tree of knowledge is the tree of good and evil, which is the most important system in your body, which is the nervous system. The nervous system, the most important. The tree of good and evil. And the tree of life, which is the cardiovascular system. Now, this oil, when it's released every month, feeds these two systems, and these two systems feed everything. Now, it's important you understand that. Okay? The ancients knew all of this knowledge. The Bible's telling you this knowledge. But it's in a metaphorical way. You have to understand the context behind it so you can read it properly. Now, eating of the tree of life, which is when it talks about in the Bible, eating from the tree of life is actually symbolizing a bad diet, ejaculation. Because you're eating from these two systems. You're killing yourself with a bad diet. You're killing yourself with an ejaculation. Okay? So, That's important to understand. Now, this is Jacob's ladder in the Freemasons. Jacob's ladder, which is the spinal cord, it's the stairway to heaven. And this is Jack and the Beanstalk when he goes up the beanstalk and finds the golden egg in the grey clouds. The grey clouds symbolize the grey matter in your brain. Now, the Garden of Eden talks about the 4 different rivers in Garden of Eden. As we see here, the North Pole map, the ancient North Pole map, because the center of the earth is the center of the torus field. Everything's the torus field. Atoms are torus fields. Everything's torus fields. You are the universe. Everything is within you. The North Pole is your spinal cord. This is why they say Santa Claustrum comes from the North Pole. This is the North Pole. And the Santa Claustrum is the center of your brain. Now, there's 4 rivers which come from the Garden of Eden. There's the blood, the Christ oil, which is the oil we're talking about, urine, and saliva. These are the 4 sacred oil, 4 sacred fluids in your body. And these are constantly abused in today's society. Also, these secret societies are targeting these fluids. Okay? This is why porn is free. They sexualize society through Disney. Go and look at some of the Disney movies. There's so many subliminal messages which sexualize these children because they want you sexualized. So you release your seed, which is one of the holy fluids in your body, especially your semen, your sexual energy. So important you retain this. So important because it's your life force. It keeps you alive. Okay. Now, let's recap on this. If you want to raise your oil every month, you can't just retain your seed for the month. You have to retain your seed forever. Don't just do it for a couple of days. Have to do it. It's a lifestyle. You want to become God consciousness, you got to do what it takes. It's hard in this society because this society is made around, it's designed to kill you pretty much. It's designed to keep you in these lower states of consciousness with all the bad food, the chemicals in the food, the chemicals in the water, the sexualized TV programs, sexualized adverts, sexualized TikTok and apps, videos, subliminally stimulating you because that is your weakness, sex. It's your weakness. Now, you have to retain your seed, meditation, and an alkaline diet. Why alkaline? Because acidic is low vibrational. This is the color spectrum. And what's the highest vibrational color? Violet. It's the lowest, red. You have to have an alkaline body in order to raise this oil. When you drink, when you have a bad diet, when you drink alcohol, when you smoke, this destroys the oil. It destroys the oil in your sacrum and it can't be raised again, can't be raised up. This is why it's so important. Without that oil, you don't live. That oil makes you live. It feeds everything in your body. It's crazy how we're not taught this. It's insane. But that is how you raise the oil, people. I hope you all gain some knowledge out of this video. And I hope this assists you on your journey, your spiritual journey. And please like and share this video. We need this knowledge out to the public to wake up humanity. Thank you all, people. God bless. What's good, people? We're back with another video. This is going to just be a quick video. Manifestation, magic, bending reality. So let's jump straight into this. So you have a conscious and a subconscious part of your mind. The conscious is what you're conscious of, what you're actually doing, where you can choose or not. However, the subconscious is the part of your brain which is automatic. So all of the systems in your body, like the digestive system, your heartbeat, these are automatically being ran. And you do not have to tell these systems to do anything. You do not have to consciously tell your heart to beat. It's automatically doing it. And this is what the subconscious mind is controlling. It's like the dark aspect of your brain or your mind. It is the way bigger aspect of your mind. Okay, it controls all the systems in your body. Okay, and this is where all of your programs are. So when you're in it from your childhood, what you've learned in school, all of these things are being kept in your subconscious, maybe traumas and stuff like that. So the subconscious is the female aspect, and the conscious is the male aspect, because the male is all about action and doing, and the female is more about creation, creativity, intuition. So you have a right and a left hemisphere of your brain, and these are obviously male and female. The right side of your brain is your female. It's to do with creativity, imagination, intuition, insight. Okay. And this is one of the most important sides of the brain. This side of the brain is the most attacked by the elites, whatever you want to call them. This side is one of the most important because obviously your intuition is a massive part of reality. And if you don't have intuition, then you lose track of the things around you. You can't consciously feel if things are wrong or right. They don't want you to have intuition or creativity or imagination. They want you in the left side of your brain, which is just reasoning, logic, and basic things. So they just want you to tell you what you want, tell you what to learn, and then that's it. They don't want you thinking for yourself, which is the right side of the brain. So whatever the conscious side of your mind impresses the subconscious side of your mind. So if you do affirmations, for example, if you consciously do affirmations every day, you're reprogramming your subconscious mind. You're impressing a vibration and a word into your subconscious mind, and therefore it will reprogram it. So the male and female aspect are symbolized by the Star of David as well. The male being the upside triangle, the female being the downside, connected all in one, because we both have male and female energy. So every thoughts are electric, which is the male aspect. Emotions are magnetic, which is the female. Each thought creates a wave of vibration in all directions. So think of it like a water drop in a pool, but it going out in every single direction. It's not just flat. And these thoughts have a certain frequency, has a certain vibration. That vibration has a certain frequency. And this affects your aura. Every thought, every emotion directly impacts your aura and the strength of your aura. So if you're angry all the time, your aura in the astral plane will look red. However, if you're happy, it'll be more like blue and green. So it's very important. Your electromagnetic field is created out of your emotions and thoughts, and that affects reality because you're 60% water, and frequency and vibration create certain patterns and has a certain effect on water. We'll get into that after this slide. So each thought that people are thinking around you, you are actually subconsciously picking up these thoughts because it's emitting this vibration in all directions. So this is why you can pick up thoughts of other people on the odd occasion. However, when you're more in tune with your intuition, your right side of your brain, you can start to pick up on vibrations, thoughts, and other people's auras. You can pick up on the energy once your third eye is open, and you know whether you should be in that environment or not. This is what we call an atmosphere when we go into a room and you can feel
the tension if someone's been arguing, for example. This is the atmosphere, this is the vibrations, these are people's auras emitting these certain frequencies and vibrations. Okay. So our aura is contained of multiple layers. Obviously, we have the physical body. This is the electromagnetic layer. However, you have the different planes of existence, the spirit, mental, astral, etheric, and then physical. The physical is the lowest plane of existence. And the physical plane is a product of all of the planes above. So the mental impresses on the astral impresses into the etheric, and then the etheric creates the physical object. So the mind is the root cause of reality. The mind is the cause of everything. Your consciousness is pure cause. There's no effect. Everything you see in this reality is the effect. Everything that you experience is the effect, because the root cause was the mind. The decisions you made you experience that certain experience. And that decision was created on the mental plane. And this is just pure thoughts. And thoughts are things. If it exists in your mind, it is a thing. It's a certain frequency. So if you have a certain level of thoughts, if you're thinking positive, for example, you're going to have a strong aura, you're going to have a higher vibration. And that attracts like. Like attracts like when it comes to thoughts and vibrations and electromagnetism. So if you're thinking positive all the time, speaking positive, doing positive, you're then creating a higher vibration, and that's going to attract people on that similar frequency to you. Everything is electromagnetism, frequency, and vibration. Everything. You see, so this is why, for example, if I put my hand to a TV screen, if my finger was the same vibration as the TV screen, it would go straight through it. However, the particles in my hand and the particles on the TV screen are two separate vibrations, and this is what causes the friction to stop, and not my finger to go straight through it. So like I said, when you don't feel the vibe of someone, when you don't feel right, you don't really get along with someone, this is a vibration. Your vibrations are not matching, they're not similar, they're two complete different vibrations, and they're not aligning properly. So music has a massive part on this. Music is a massive, massive tool for the elites, because music is frequency. And in 1975, the musical instrument are all tuned to 440 hertz. So Spotify, Apple Music, most of the music on YouTube is all set to 440 hertz. And 440 hertz is not divisible by 3, 6, or 9. And when you can't divide a frequency by 3, 6, or 9, it's not a natural frequency. As you can see here, this is 432 hertz. This makes a nice geometric pattern. However, 440 hertz is a distorted pattern. So when you listen to this, this actually shuts off the whole right side of your brain. Like I said at the start, this is the most attacked side of your brain. It's to do with creativity, imagination, intuition. When you listen to 440 hertz, it shuts off the whole right side of your brain. And obviously shutting off all of these forms of your brain. Music is a very, very powerful tool for the elites, because it's the only thing which can enter your soul or your ears without consent, your body without consent. Everything else has to be through consent. You choose whether to eat something, you choose whether to drink something, but frequency, you're going to hear it no matter what. This is why it's so powerful. And music influences the body in many different ways. It's the most powerful imitator of everything. It directly affects all listeners. It directly affects intentions, gestures, movements, and actions. It stimulates your mind, and certain songs, certain catchy songs, can reprogram your subconscious mind, invoking certain emotions. This is why when you listen to slow beat songs, it makes you feel more sad. When you listen to upbeat songs, you feel more energetic. This is because these frequencies have a profound influence on reality and on how you feel. Because, like I said, you are 60% water. And as you can see here, each frequency creates a different geometric pattern. And inside of you is 60% water. So, like I said, 440 hertz is going to make a distorted pattern in your water. And this is going to have a profound effect on your emotions and your reality. So, like I said, health is not just the body. It's you are made of body, mind, and spirit. You need to look after what you put in your body. You need to look after your spirit and look after your mind. It's very important to keep all these in balance because once one of these are unbalanced, it affects the other two. So if you're eating wrong, it's going to affect your spirit and mind. If you're thinking wrong, it's going to affect your body and spirit. These are all interlocked. You have to look after them all. So it's very important you understand music. Stop listening to low vibrational music. To be honest, you want to listen to music without any sort of speaking inside of it. You just want pure uh, frequencies, which are the solfeggio scale, like one of these, for example, 432, 528 hertz. These are all good frequencies. It's called the solfeggio scale. And these frequencies make you more in tune with nature. 528 hertz is what the earth vibrates at. So it's very important. And the Rockefellers are the one who changed this to 440 hertz. The Rockefellers, one of the elite families. So if you want to manipulate reality, it's very important to have your chakras aligned and have it a high vibration, because the higher your vibration, the more powerful your words and your intentions are on reality. So the lower your vibration, the harder it is to affect reality because you're on a lower state of consciousness. Like I said, you have the mental, astral, etheric, and physical. Everything is a product of the one above. As above, so below. This is what Hermes Trismegistus was saying in the Egyptian days. This is where it comes from. As above, so below. If you affect above, it directly affects below. So, like I said, meditation helps on this, helps align your chakras. Think positive, feel positive. Like I said, your feelings are magnetic, your thoughts are electric. So once you combine these two together, you're then creating an electromagnetic frequency, and that will have profound effect on reality. So the law of cause and effect. The law of cause and effect. Every effect has the root cause. Like I said, your mind is the root cause of everything. Every decision you make is having a different effect on reality. Everything happens for a reason due to the root cause, which is your mind. You choose everything that happens in your life. Okay? So it's very important you understand this and you constantly make the right decisions, the good decisions to have good effects on your reality. You have to be very conscious of this law because nothing escapes this law. This is the law of all consciousness. So think about it. Imagine a massive ball of consciousness. However, off this ball are different sparks, and each one of these sparks are in each and everyone's body. This spark is governed by these laws, the law of cause and effect, the law of correspondence, the 7 hermetic principles. It's very important you understand this because this mass ball of consciousness is what is obeying these laws, and everyone has this spark of consciousness inside their third eye. And like I said, everyone is the same consciousness. This is why if you do bad onto someone else, that will directly affect your reality. So if you hurt someone, it's going to come back to you in one way or another because you are that same consciousness. This is like a mirror reality, as within, so without. Whatever you feel on the inside, you're gonna see that on the outside. You're going to experience that reality, whatever you've impressed. So there's different ways to bend reality to your will. This is kind of a sort of magic. So obviously you have black magic, which is manipulating reality to harm and influence others or to be very selfish. And then you have white magic, which is manipulating reality for the good of humanity. So you do have to be very careful with your intentions, people, when you're trying to manipulate reality, because this is nothing to be played with. If you are manipulating reality for the wrong reason, it's going to come and bite you in the ass in some way or another. Because everything is balanced. Everything balances out in this reality. Nothing escapes the laws. Not one thing escapes the laws. So if you're stealing from yourself because it's just going to come back in one way or another. Inside of everyone's heart,
You know whether you're doing good or wrong. You can feel it when you do something wrong. You can feel it when you do something good. The heart is the center of the torus field. It's balance. And this is why you say follow your heart, because it's the center of the torus field. It's very important to listen to this inner voice inside of you, because that is telling you the right things to do, the good decisions to make. And when you keep following that voice, that good voice inside of you, it takes you to your life path. Very important to follow that voice. However, don't let the ego get in the way of it. Don't care what your friends are going to say. It's very important to understand this. So you have different ways of manipulating reality. You have sigil magic. This is where you create your own sigil or symbol. You create your own sigil and symbol, and then you charge it. You behind that symbol, you have an intention. So, for example, if you want to manifest wealth, you create a sigil which represents what you want. You create that sigil, you draw it out, you charge it, because wherever your attention goes, energy flows. So whatever your attention is, you're sending energy that way. So what you do with your eyes and your hands, you place attention on the sigil. Imagine that it's glowing. Imagine that you're sending energy to the sigil. And then you burn the piece of paper once you've done this. And then after this, you meditate on that symbol. You constantly think about that symbol, because that symbol is the frequency, is the thing that you want to manifest. So that's one way. Or you can just meditate on your reality. So imagine yourself having already what you have. This is what they call a mindset. You must set your mind to the frequency what you want to manifest. Okay? So if you want to manifest wealth, for example, imagine yourself being wealthy. What would it feel like? What would you be doing? Imagine a scene in your mind. Constantly do this, and you're putting out that frequency. Like I said, you must think, because the thoughts are electric, and then you must feel, which is magnetic. Together, this creates an electromagnetic frequency, and this is how you attract things to you. You will attract the certain people to come in your life to bend reality to your will. Okay? Or you've got mirror magic. Stare yourself in the mirror, because a mirror reflects light. It also reflects energy. So you've got to be very careful with what you say to a mirror. You've got to be very, very, very careful, because whatever you send into that mirror is directly sent straight back to you. So if you're thinking negative, you're sending negative energy back straight to you, and that's going to have an effect on your reality. Affirmations are very important, because your words are frequency, your words are vibrations, and each word you say has a certain frequency. If it's it's positively charged, it's going to affect you positively. If it's negatively charged, because like I say, your brain and your mind is like the director of energy. That's what your brain is. And it directs energy into certain things. You can either positively charge it or negatively charge it. And this brain is creating your reality constantly. It's manifesting your reality constantly in the present moment. So this is what the government knows. The government know your mind is the root cause of reality. This is why they call themselves a government. Government. The New World Order is not being manifested by them. They are controlling the information. They are controlling your perception of this reality. And they know the mind is the root cause of reality. Therefore, if they control your perception of reality and your information, what you believe, you're going to manifest that information, that perception. So we, the people as a collective consciousness, are the ones manifesting this New World Order. You see, so this isn't black magic. They're actually tricking us into manifesting their own their plans, this New World Order. You see, this is how smart these people are. They know how to get around the laws of reality. They know how to bend reality to their will without facing the consequences. They're getting humanity to do it. You see, there is a collective consciousness. As like I said, we all have that same spark of consciousness, right? So as a collective consciousness, we are on a very low vibration at the moment. However, we are waking up rapidly. There are more and more people waking up at the moment.
And light always chases away the shadow. Light is a lot more powerful than darkness, you see. So one person waking up has a massive effect than one person being asleep. It has a profound effect. Because, like I say, the light always chases away the darkness. It's more powerful. The light is always more powerful. High vibrations are more powerful than lower. So that's it for this, people. I hope you all enjoyed. This is a short, quick video. God bless you all. You are not breathing correctly. 98% of people only use a third of their lungs' capacity, which is shallow breathing, which ages you, lowers your brain capacity, and also lowers your state of consciousness. So it's essential that you breathe consciously on a day-to-day basis, because this is what truly elevates your consciousness. I am going to give you the key for you to raise your consciousness just through breathing alone. Such a simple thing, but yet the most effective way for raising your state of consciousness and becoming more spiritually and mentally advanced. So tune in for this video, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do it and the symbolism behind breathing. Air is more than just air. It carries electromagnetic energy. So now I'm going to give you the science behind this spiritual truth. This invisible is magnetically attracted to these two opposing forces, opposing magnets. This is proof that air, liquid oxygen carries electromagnetism. When you are breathing electromagnetism, the essential life force behind all living beings. This is known as energy or prana, chi, ether, or spirit. This is all the same thing. Air is not just empty space. It is energy. It is prana. It is life force. It is spirit. It is ether, chi, prana. You are an electromagnetic being. Your consciousness is in direct correlation with your electromagnetic aura or biofield around your body. Your state of consciousness is mirrored within this field around your body. Now, your breath, when you breathe in, you're breathing electromagnetism or life force. Breath is the vital link between the physical and the spiritual, bridging the body with the soul. Through breath, we connect with both tangible world and deeper, the unseen realms of energy and consciousness. Breathing deeply and properly elevates our consciousness, enhancing the brain's functions, heightening the sensitivity of our five senses. It also brings a profound calmness to the mind, creating a state of clarity and inner peace. Like I said earlier, breathing properly is the fastest way to elevate your consciousness. It is the fastest way, because breathing, when you stop breathing, what happens? You lose physical consciousness. Your body will shut down if you do not breathe in this vital electromagnetic energy in the oxygen. If your body does not get this for 5 minutes or however you can last without breathing, this makes you lose physical consciousness. Your body will not survive without this essential life force energy. Therefore, air is one of the most overlooked things. This is why we see the symbolism of Buddha having a big belly. Why does he have a big belly? Because it's symbolizing breath work, proper spiritual breath work, the certain teachings of breath work, of when you breathe in through the nose, you have to breathe in through the nose. You don't want to breathe in through the mouth, because the nose acts as a filter which catches dust particles and filters out the air before it enters the lungs. The mouth does not do that. The nose is for breathing inward. We breathe in through the nose, and when we breathe in, we breathe into our belly, not our lungs. When we breathe into our belly and our belly expands outwards, We are then moving this energy down through from the nose down the spinal column. And when we breathe back out, the belly goes in, which is raising the energy up the spinal column, back out through the mouth. This is the true way of breathing, because when we breathe, we are moving energy. We are moving electromagnetic energy. When we breathe in through the nose, the energy travels down the spinal column. And when we breathe out, we are raising this energy back up the spine, some of it going out the mouth, and some of it reaching the brain, activating dormant brain cells in the brain. But when we breathe, we need to make sure we are using 100% of our lungs' capacity, because the lungs is what transforms this special energy into consciousness, physical consciousness. So this is why Buddha has a big belly. It's not because he was fat. It's not because he was overweight. It's symbolism. It's symbolism of breath work. So try this. Do this for 2 minutes while you watch this video. Breathe in through the mouth as hard as you can until you no longer can fill any more air into your lungs and belly. Breathe it into your belly, not your lungs. And breathe out through the mouth. Do this for 5 minutes or 2 minutes, however long. I promise you, breath affects your consciousness. You will notice the difference. If you do it quicker, the quicker it'll affect your consciousness, and you might go lightheaded. But that lightheaded is you activating your spirit, your energy body. So try this just when watching this video. When you breathe consciously, you are renewing both your energy body and astral body, aligning your consciousness with a higher state. This practice feeds new life force energy into the body, revitalizing and enhancing your overall well-being. Like I said, your brain requires the most amount of oxygen. When we have shallow breathing, this is reducing the brain's capacity. Because when we are not breathing properly, which 98% of people are only using a third of their lungs' capacity, we are essentially only using a third of our consciousness, because your breath is directly correlated to your consciousness, your state of consciousness. When you breathe in through the mouth, out through the mouth, out in through the nose, out through the mouth, consciously and deeply for 5 minutes, you will notice that your senses are more powerful and sensitive. Your brain is quicker. What's the word? It processes information quicker. You become quicker. You become a superhuman, and you feel more spiritual because it activates your spirit, your astral and energy body. So when we meditate, it's definitely important to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth as deeply as possible to align with a higher state of consciousness. And this is the easiest way to separate your consciousness from the body. When you breathe in deeply for long periods of time, while meditating, while taking no thought, when no thought is present and you gain a rhythm of deep breathing, this is the gateway. This is the gateway to opening your consciousness, because when you stop thinking, other aspects of your consciousness can open up. All of our lives we've been thinking, which has blocked off the higher states of consciousness. So breathing is very, very important. It affects our overall well-being. And this is Yahweh, the in and the out of breathing. When we breathe in, this is Yah. You can hear it. It sounds like Yah. And when we breathe out, that is Way. This is the name of God, apparently. But God is within you. You can connect with God. You can connect with source consciousness within you by breathing, by raising your state of consciousness through breathing and meditation. This is why the Bible tells you the Spirit of God has made me, and the breath of the Almighty gives me life. You are consciousness. You are God. You're an extension of God's consciousness. Job 27:3. As long as my breath is in me and the Spirit of God is in my nostrils. The Spirit of God is through breath. John 20:22. And when he said this, he breathed on them and said to them, "Receive the Holy Spirit." The word spirit means breath. In Greek, Hebrew, Latin, it all means breath or wind or air. The Holy Spirit is a certain way of breathing, a breathing technique that elevates your consciousness, that syncs you up to a holy consciousness, an elevated state. That is the Holy Spirit. That's why it tells you in the Bible, when he said this, he breathed onto them. He breathed onto them and said, "Receive the Holy Spirit." You must breathe to receive the Holy Spirit. When you breathe, you are renewing the body's energy. You're taking in new life force, which is regenerating your cells, regenerating your brain, nervous system, and also connecting with consciousness, pure consciousness. This is not something that we should be doing during meditation. Yes, it is. We should be doing it during meditation, but this is something that we need to apply all of the time. This is the fastest way you can raise your consciousness. I just want to say, all of this knowledge is inside of the Book of Wisdom, Volume 2. Make sure to give a like and a comment on this video to help the algorithm. And let me know what you think about the last book or this book if you have read them, to let the new people know what they're looking at with this book. This is truly life-changing. The Volume 2 and Volume 1 is truly life-changing. You can get them in a bundle also. Learn hidden knowledge inside of the Ethereal University. This is where truth seekers belong. I'm not here to try sell you this, but this is the place for truth seekers. And if you are serious about your spiritual journey and serious about gaining knowledge, which gives you the advantage over life, join Ethereal University. This will definitely help you. Thank you for watching this video. Please leave a like and comment. Make sure to give me any suggestions on videos that you want me to make in the future. Thank you all.
Welcome back everyone to another video. Today we're going to cover everything that you need to know about the mind, starting with the two aspects of the mind, the conscious and the subconscious. The male aspect of your mind is the conscious. This is the 10% of your mind. The conscious part of your mind is only aware of everything around you, your vision, your sight, your smell, your taste, your hearing, and your current state of emotion and thought. Every thought that you consciously think about has an emotion directly attached to it. That emotion is then impressed onto the subconscious part of the mind. The subconscious part of the mind is the female aspect of your mind. It is also a whopping 90% of your mind. Subconscious mind is controlling all of the subconscious processes which happen within your body. For example, your subconscious mind is controlling your heartbeat, your digestion of food, and all of the things that you do not have to tell the body to do. It is the hidden part of our mind which is controlling all of the hidden things. The subconscious mind is like a recording supercomputer. Everything that you have experienced in your life is all recorded and stored within the subconscious mind. One of the most important things about your subconscious mind is that it stores your mental programs. Everything in the subconscious mind manifests into behavior and actions within the body. Your daily basis routine and habits are all mental programs within your subconscious mind. These mental programs are created by mainly two ways. 1, repetition, and 2, emotional impact. The repetition is fairly simple to understand. The more you do something, the more it impresses onto your subconscious mind and becomes a program. That program will then manifest into your behavior. However, with the emotional programs, they work a bit different. The stronger that you feel an emotion, the stronger it is impressed onto the subconscious mind. And then that emotion becomes a program. For example, you had a very traumatic moment happen when you were a young child. The emotion that you felt was so strong in that moment that it impressed into your subconscious mind so hard that you can recall that moment like it was yesterday. That traumatic event that happened to you when you were young will still manifest into your daily basis behavior even to this day. However, it manifests subconsciously. For example, if you were in a car crash, you will be wary to enter cars with certain people, all because of that traumatic emotion that you felt and impressed onto your subconscious mind. Another example of the subconscious manifesting into our behavior is posting on Instagram. Most of the time, the reason why you post is because your subconscious mind is seeking gratification. So before you actually do something, question yourself and find out the root cause of why you are doing this. Another thing that you need to understand about the subconscious mind is that it takes everything you say and hear literally. So for example, if you go and say, "You are an idiot" to someone, your subconscious mind will only pick up the word idiot. It only knows yourself. It doesn't know anyone else. You are casting a spell on yourself just by saying that to someone else. This is why the golden rule is to treat others like you'd like to be treated. Now, you can rewrite these programs which are already in your subconscious mind. However, it does take consistency. You have to change these programs which have been running for years. And by changing these programs, you change your behavior, because these programs manifest into your behavior. The best way to do this, personally, is to listen to affirmations first thing when you wake up in the morning, and do this for 10 minutes every single morning. Then at night time, you want to think and feel that you are becoming the reality that you desire. The more that you feel this reality, the more it will become a program and impress your subconscious mind. For example, you're trying to gain financial freedom. If you trick your subconscious mind into creating a program saying that you are financially free, this will manifest into your behavior. You will start doing more work. You will start looking for ways to make money. Your mind will be set on the frequency of money and financial freedom. Therefore, you will receive thoughts based around this program. If you take enough action, your life will dramatically change because of this program that you created in the mind. This is why we call it a mindset, because your mind is a frequency tuner which sets its frequency onto different thoughts, because thoughts are frequency. If you fill your mind with a specific frequency, you will gain thoughts and ideas based around that frequency. To create a stable mind, you need to master your emotions. You need to change your mindset. Everything that you experience is neutral. Based upon the mindset that you see it, you either give it a positive or negative charge. By understanding this deeply, you will then control your emotions. I hope you gained some wisdom and enjoyed this video. Please, if you can, leave a comment and a like, and subscribe to the channel if you like this content. Love and light to you all.
Welcome to Revival of Wisdom.
This video is going to be about the flat earth and the breakdown of the whole cosmology. We're going to be digging very deep. I've got a lot of pictures and images to show you, and a lot of dots to connect. So let's start with the Freemasonry art. So this artwork we have here is the Freemasonic cosmology, as they know and believe. So what is it symbolizing? We obviously have to start off with the 4 pillars representing the 4 corners of the earth. The 4 corners with duality. You see, there's everything on earth. There's good and evil. Good, evil, positive, negative. Good, bad. This is the checkerboard. This is what it symbolizes. Okay. Obviously, we have the sun the moon, the sun gives you energy. It's the anode. The moon is the cathode. It's the opposite. It takes your energy. So therefore you become sleepy when the moon comes out. You see, everything on Earth, everything in the universe is balanced. There's complete balance symbolized by duality. There's always two opposites. We have the all-seeing eye, and obviously 7 stars representing the 7 planets, but not planets as in we know planets. They're not physical spinning balls of gas. They are energies. They are lights emitting from the realm above this realm. They are lights through the firmament, through the electromagnetic field. So let's go through that again. The 4 corners, duality, positive and negative, cold, dry. Everyone on Earth has an opposite. Everyone, there's 2. Okay. And then we have the sun, the moon, the 7 planets with a 5-pointed star. What's the 5-pointed star? Of course, it's the 5 elements: spirit, water, earth, fire, and air. Okay. That's what the 5-pointed stars symbolizing, the 5 elements of Earth. And then most importantly, we have the compass. The compass is very, very important, hence why it's in the center. The compass is symbolizing many, many things. And one of the most important things, but we'll get into that after. We have a boat with water outside of the Earth. So we have a boat on water, symbolizing the waters separated by the firmament, the waters above, separated by the firmament from the waters within the firmament, the Earth. So this is what it's symbolizing. So the compass, what's the compass? This is where the compass comes from. The Polaris, the most important star there is, because it's in the center of Earth. The sun, the moon, and the black hole, black sun. Because all creation comes from center, the seed center. Okay, but we'll get into this after. But also, this is a very important Masonic symbol because they use this symbol a lot. This is one of their main symbols, hence why Neil Armstrong has the Masonic ring with the compass on it. The people who supposedly went to the moon, which obviously they faked to push this globe model, because the globe model is based upon fear. Because the globe model, if they can sell you the globe model, they can sell you anything then. You don't know where you actually are. The globe model is to push fear upon the masses, because the globe model means there's not enough resources. There's also risks of asteroids hitting the planet. There's also risks of space, extraterrestrial invasions, global warming, asteroids. You see, this is all the fear that they can gain off selling you the globe model. Okay, because they don't want you to know that this is an intelligent design. And also, they're hiding God, the creator, the source. This is why they are satanic. They are opposites. They are lefty, Lucifer, right, righteous, godly. Hence why they do the symbolism on their eyes. 666. This is another famous, famous astrologer. Astronaut. This is another famous astronaut doing 666, showing that he's in the alliance of the occult. But even look at their 10th anniversary stamps. They have a Masonic compass on there. Also the Order Out of Chaos. Order Out of Chaos, double-headed eagle. Okay, the Order Out of Chaos ring which they wear. So all of these astronauts are in the occult. They are lying to you. They are in with this order, this Masonic New World Order, whatever you want to call it. So let's break this compass down a lot more. Because as I showed you here, the center, okay, this is what the compass is symbolizing. Let's go into the North Pole map. This is from 1595. This is a rough estimate of where this map came from. It's from around the 1500s to the 1600s, maybe 1400s. There's not an actual set date on this map because obviously our history has been tampered with. But let's break down this map and the symbolism that they use towards this map, because this map is the map of the North Pole. Okay, so in the center, we have the black rock symbolizing the tower, the pole, North Pole. And what's on top of the North Pole? Obviously, it's Polaris, North Pole and Polaris. Okay, with the 4 islands around the center. Okay, 4 islands around the center. And this is what blew my mind, right? They say that Santa sounds similar. And if you look at this pole that's pointing to the North Pole, you see this line here. So this is obviously from the 1600s. What color is Santa? He's red and white. Just like this map pointing to the center is red and white. And Santa comes from the North Pole. So it's not a coincidence that they use red and white. They're mocking this map because obviously they took over after the 1500s, 1600s. They took over around the 1800s. So they're mocking this map with Santa coming from the North Pole with this red and white line to the North Pole. Notice the 4 islands. Okay. Like windows, their symbol, they obviously in the occult, they're part of the New World Order, is symbolizing these 4 islands with the blue behind it for the water. Okay, so this is another occult logo. They're symbolizing this center because the center is so important. Okay, we'll get into that. Also, we have the Mayan cosmology. This is the Mayan cosmology. This is what they created. This is their artwork with also 4 major lands around the center. You see this 4 with green in between them all. 4 major lands with the underworld. You see this underworld is also symbolized by the Masons with the coffin of the skull and bones, the deceased, the dead. Okay, so this is also mentioned in the book of Enoch. Okay, and it's called Sheol. Sheol, the underworld. Okay, and in the book of Enoch, it says all spirits of the dead go to these hollow places, that they are wait until their appointed time of judgment. And it also says in the book of Enoch, there are 4 hollow places underneath. 4 as above, so below, representing the 4 islands. As above, so below. That's where that could link in. Okay. The book of Enoch is very important because it was found in a cave thousands of years ago. And has a lot of truths about this realm and about this world we live in. So let's go back to the Mayan cosmology. So the ancient cosmology, they all must have had some sort of communication. They must all be at peace with each other because all of their cosmologies link together. See the Greek, Babylonian, Indian, the Celtic. Okay, they're all linked in together. They all knew that they were in an enclosed system with an underworld and obviously a firmament. Okay, so this is what they all knew. They all must have had some sort of communication. They were a lot more advanced than us. They knew the center of the realm. Okay, and obviously the United Nations flag also symbolizes their center. You see how it has like a grid with a circle around the center. It's symbolizing that center of the realm, because that center of Earth is so important. The United Nations flag, all have it. See, some different ones all have that circle around the center. Because the center is the seed. All things come from a center. So the torus field is so important because it is the spark of life. It's the building blocks of the universe, this creation. Because all things have a torus field. Just like an apple with what's in the center of an apple, a seed. Because the center is where the energies hold, is where the energies meet. And it creates that spark of life. Just like your heart is the center of your body. And it has an electromagnetic field. Because the center, all things come from the center. So this is why the North Pole is so important. Because this is why it's so important. Because this is where the creation sparked from. The center. This is where the most electromagnetic energy is stored. So this is why the northern lights come from the center. It's electromagnetic energy. This is what the northern lights are. It's being emitted from this black hole in the center. Okay? And obviously what else is on the center? Polaris. Polaris is the center star. Okay? So the center star is what sits on top of this North Pole, Polaris, because it's a pole of electromagnetic energy, symbolized as a black rock, a black hole, pole. You see, because all creation comes from void. Light is born from darkness. Without light, darkness can't be born from light. You see, but light can be born from darkness. This is why darkness is so important. And this is why there's a black hole in the center of our realm, like the black sun. The black sun. The Polaris star, the North Star. You see, so this is this North Pole, Polaris. This is what they're talking about. And this is why compasses are an 8-pointed star, because Polaris is symbolized as an 8-pointed star. This is where a compass will point you to. It will point you to that center. So notice how a compass has this black hole in the middle. You see? And it will point you to this